It's great. Hey, everybody, it's Mark Schultz here, and it's day 3 at the MRO Americas 2022 in Dallas. And today I got a really exciting lineup. I've gone through this show, and I've looked for exciting companies that really are making a valuable contribution, to our industry to help success. I'm passionate about aviation. I'm passionate about digital. And so I'm really passionate about finding companies that can help us be successful doing all those things. And I wanted to introduce to you today Aerostrat. And I'm going to just jump right in and just say, can you tell people who you are and what do you do?
Yeah, so my name's Elliot. I'm the CEO of Aerostrat, and Aerostrat creates maintenance planning software solutions for airline and MROs that allows them to take the entire fleet, all their maintenance requirements, and create an optimized schedule in a matter of seconds.
All right, perfect. And over here.
Absolutely. My name's Cody Morris. I'm Director of Engineering at Aerostrat, and my role is to make sure the product works as well as possible.
Good. So we got the guy held responsible with us too.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, good, great.
Exactly.
Well, listen, we're going to dig into a little bit more detail on what that really means, is because, I've been in the industry for a long time, and, the term planning really is a very broad term. And so when we talk about somebody that provides planning software within the industry, I think it's a little bit hard to know exactly really what it is. But we're going to dig into that and help you understand that. But first place I'm going to go is say, can you guys tell me a little bit about what you're seeing? I know you have quite a few customers today, and congratulations on that, by the way. And can you tell me a little bit about what you're seeing in the industry? What kind of challenges you're seeing people having right now, Elliot?
So for us, it's, with COVID and stuff, a lot of our users are now working from home or hybrid, and they're not all in the office as they were in 2019. So, Zoom and Teams and stuff are getting them so far, but the actual collaboration and information transfer between different users rather than always having to hop on a screen share and whatnot. So for us, really just collaboration and keeping the organization working smoothly despite not being in the same room.
Okay, awesome. And Cody, what about you? What are you seeing as far as industry challenges that people are having out there today?
So I have to mirror what Elliot said. We've seen that as workforces move to a more remote type operation, it's really hard to stay aligned. So that's a big issue that we see today.
Okay, well, great.
Yeah.
How are like the traditional things that we're seeing out there today, like labor and supply chain, and skills of employees, or inflationary prices and things like that? Are you seeing that impacting your customers?
We are a lot. A lot of customers are trying to do less with more. So that's one big piece why that collaboration also comes into play.
By the way, more with less.
Or more with less.
I know. I just want to say it because it's okay. But they're trying to do more with less. I know. But I know what you're saying. So keep going. Customers are trying to do more with less, because I get that. Yeah,
definitely more with less. That efficiency aspect is really hard to improve those processes when you're remote. And so, that's a bit where planning comes into play, because in order to actually do that, you have to have a good plan where everyone can execute from the, what to do. So it's a bit why we're seeing a lot more demand for what we're doing, but also why we are focusing even more on collaboration in our product.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I could build on that a little bit, Mark, with what's happened over the past few years, we've seen that a lot of our customers have to be extremely nimble and be able to very quickly understand how those supply chain issues will affect their business. So, that's
digital.
one of the So that's one of the main goals of our product.
I know this is crazy, but a couple of years ago, I went to a large airline, but they were in a country that was behind everybody else, and I went into their planning office, and they had a big drawing board, and they were drawing out their planning in paper,
Right.
And I know that that's not really that typical, but this has only been just a couple of years ago, right? Okay.
Unfortunately, sometimes it's a little more typical.
Really? Exactly. Really? Okay. All right. Literally, they had a T-square in the drawing board, and they were drawing out their planning, on the paper, But so let's talk about this a minute. I brought up the word planning earlier, and for me, in the industry for a long time, it isn't always clear what someone means when they say planning. Okay, I went to a large airline a couple of years ago, and they said they needed some planning software. And the first thing we started asking them is, well, what and where? And so can one of you help me understand really what is the challenge that you're addressing?
So what the challenge is creating something that you can do and actually accomplish, right? Mm-hmm. It's easy to go on a board and say, hey, we'll do this, but it's not looking at necessary constraints to complete it. Do you have enough time to complete it? Is the labor available to complete it? Do those things even fit together? Like if you're creating a C-check, does that work combined effectively? So it's really creating a plan, that's to overuse the word, but creating a plan and making it accomplishable and optimized. So that's what we try to do, and make it as simple as possible in order to do that. And the farther you can look out time-wise, the better that plan becomes. So we try to provide those tools so that way they can see and create a 5-year plan and actually understand what problems are coming way ahead of time and then be proactive about them.
Okay, let's break this up into 2 pieces if I could then, okay? Number one is that you said planning, you said C-checks, you said 5 years, a couple of different things. Is that what is the particular planning challenge that we're addressing? Can you be a little bit more specific so people watching kind of know what is the challenge, first of all?
This is a lot of challenges.
Is it C-checks? Is it line maintenance?
For us, we're focusing on heavy maintenance.
Heavy maintenance. Okay.
We do have our customers are using it to do a bit of line stuff, and as well as component and power plant planning as well. But for us, our primary focus is
so 7-day, 14-day, 30-day, 90-day, whatever. Those are the kind of time frames you're usually looking at.
Well, yeah, a bit, but we also go into. We have customers that are running 5-year plans.
Okay, all right. And so are they looking at those checks then across the 5-year timeline? Is that what you're telling me then?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. I want people to understand sort of what you're talking about planning and what kind of time frames perfectly. Yeah. And Cody, let me come to you for a second. Is that you're the engineer guy, and I know that there's a lot of factors that affect putting together a plan. You started talking about some of them. Right. Labor, resources, tools, all that kind of stuff. What are the things when you're looking at a plan are you considering to be able to provide this comprehensive plan that you were talking about?
Right, absolutely. Yeah. So I'll touch on a few of the constraints that we look at.
Constraints, okay. Yeah,
absolutely.
Right, okay.
So, it's aircraft, it's vendors, locations, labor, man hours, down to capacity, like skill and shift level. And what our system does is we have a proprietary auto scheduler that looks at all those constraints, and then we'll build that to 5-10-year plan that Elliot mentioned out. So,
okay. So yeah. I imagine that most people that are watching have a planning department. They probably have a method or a process of planning today. Then why should they be considering doing something, to replace it or to add to it or something in addition to it, or what should they be considering? Why should someone consider, something like this?
So a few things when it comes to us, you were bringing up the example with drawing on a board. So
yeah.
One thing we allow them to do is actually not only look at a longer time frame, when they're doing those board drawings, it's maybe only looking out 90 days. Where we're doing that 5 years, because C-checks every say 2 years. Well, you need to understand what's happening in this work order affects the work order 2 years from now, and there's budget implications on that. So that's a huge factor there. The other piece, when you talk about efficiency and labor, if you're doing that work 4 years from now or 2 years from now, you need to start planning. Do we need to hire more? What's our labor force? Do we need extra avionics techs, for example? So you need to understand as well. Yeah. Another piece with that as well is we also look at just more complexity. A lot of companies we go to, they're just saying, oh, we're going to do a C1, where we're actually helping them build entire work orders. We have customers planning out 200, 300 requirements for all their whole heavy MPD over that 5-year span, rather than just saying, what's our C-checks coming in 90 days?
More constraints in consideration over a longer period of time, or maybe more complex situations is what you're saying. Okay.
So and then not only that, we're allowing them to do it as efficient as possible. We have customers that have one planner for 500 aircraft.
Wow.
And they're taking it all into account and maintaining,
So Cody, I got a really hard question for you. Okay. There's somebody watching right now that's saying we do this already. Okay. Right. Why should they consider doing something different?
Yeah, absolutely. So like Elliot mentioned, our product helps you make a very detailed long-range plan. What sets our product apart is that you can actually go into our product and tweak any of those constraints and regenerate the entire plan. They live side by side. So you can very quickly understand and answer questions to management or leadership about what the impact of a business change would be.
So you can look at options and alternatives.
Exactly.
Then. Okay, and what do you call it in terms of your software when you're looking at various different plans? What do you call that?
We call those scenarios.
Scenarios. Yes, so you can try different scenarios. Perfect. Okay.
Exactly. And what really sets us apart from other what if capabilities of our competitors is that all that underlying data you can change side by side very quickly. Yeah. Okay. So that's something that makes it really powerful.
Great.
Other things too is we also version scenarios and the production schedule and track those changes for them, and I'll allow them to see what happened planned versus actual. And another big thing which we're also working on now is also allowing multiple people to see in scenarios changes happening simultaneously. You know, when we go to these large airlines, they say, oh, we have 3-4 planners. Can multiple people be in the same scenario at the same time? And we go, yeah, they can. And they actually see that planner, where their mouse is, dragging it across the schedule, and it really enables them to collaborate without being in the same.
Very interesting. So I'm sure when we walk around this hall here that there's alternatives for people. They could use this product or this product or this product, okay? You know, just tell me what's the unique element of Aerostrat and why somebody should consider, you know, Aerostrat over maybe another solution that exists out there today.
There's a lot of reasons. I think Cody hit on a big bulk of them.
Okay.
The main ones I would say are the detail you can go into while also being easy to change. But for us, I think the biggest thing to summarize it is, since we are focusing just on planning, allows us to do that very, very, very excellent and not just focus on a ton of stuff. And it's only a minor thing.
Very good.
And then that way, the people that are in charge of that organization also have that support. And also, you know, that's what they expect, because that's what they're doing every day. They're focusing on that one thing and have to do it really well. So
very good.
Be there for them.
Good. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah,
hey, if people want to continue this conversation and reach out to you, we're here at the MRO Americas. And if you're here on site, what booth are you at?
2620.
2620. And if people want to reach out to you on LinkedIn or some other way, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
So, I mean, they can go to our website, aerostratsoftware.com. They're welcome.
Right there, Aerostrat. Oh, aerostratsoftware.com. Okay, all right, okay.
So they can do that. If they want to reach out to us on LinkedIn, it's under Aerostrat on LinkedIn.
Okay.
But all our contact information's on our website. And there's also a contact us form there.
Perfect. Well, here, stop by and see these guys and take a look at what they're doing. I first became aware of what they were doing a couple of years ago, and we had some conversations, I think, about a year ago. And I've really seen their number of customers they're having increase, and the impact that they're making in the industry, you know, become bigger and bigger. So again, congratulations on what you're doing, because I'm looking for companies that are helping our industry to be successful, and you guys are clearly doing that. So thank you very much. Thanks for the conversation today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate
and
it.
for those of you watching, stop by and talk to these guys. I don't think that you'll regret it. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next interview. Bye.